Alright folks, we're kind of back to the, I kind of juggling the scene and the crime, but basically the same recurring locations where I've been doing a few of my videos. So if the scenery looks familiar, it most certainly is. But what's changed this time is we're kind of right where our sulfur hatches started. Now I am midday, I am seeing an odd mayfly on the water here and there. In fact, I'm watching one right out in here and kind of keeping an eye on it to see if it gets eaten. So there's an odd bug on the water, and since I was setting up, I've seen a couple of rises. So what I'm going to do is, I got a nice 8.5 foot 3-weight, one of my favorite 3-weights. And most of you might know when it comes to trout fishing, a lot of my creeks I like 3-weights. And I'm kind of still waiting to see if that bug will get eaten. And he's leaving a charmed life and going over a couple of spots where I've seen, oops, a little dimple there. I think he's going to get away with it. He's been sailboating down the water quite a ways, and he hasn't fluttered up. Dude, you better fly away. You're going to end up with dinner going off that point. No. He's got a lucky horseshoe. Still riding. Well, anyways, I'm going to go over a couple of those spots where I saw a few fish rise. Very sporadic, so I don't know how it's going to work. Generally, when you get sporadic rises here, it's really pot luck and trying to get a bite. But anyways, got my 3-weights rigged up with a dry fly rig. I got about a 8.5 foot, maybe 9 foot leader here down to 6X. A little bit of 5 and 6, so I get a nice collapse on the control on my presentation. It might be kind of tough. We're getting the breezes coming up, so I might get pushed around a little bit by the wind. Dig in my pocket, find some fly floating, treat up the fly, and I'm gonna see if I can't bring up one of those fish there. Basically, I just got here. My original plan, thinking I'd come here and probably have to fish some sulfur nymphs or emergers, something subsurface, but I've seen a couple glurps up top, and I can't resist. I got to see if I can bring one of them up to the surface. See if I can get a fish or two off the surface on a dry fly. And I have another rod with me set up to go subsurface, so I'll be juggling between two rods. When I go to the nymph rod, I'll give you a rundown on that. Let's see if we can find a few bugs on a sulfur hatch. Well, we had a few good rain showers come through during the night, and there's a tiny little bit of stain on the water, but it's still very clear, so I might be able to see the fish come up and eat. A little dinker. Try another feeding lane, see if they're going to be interested in that. But the fact that I had a chance to get down here, slow down, observe what's going on. What I think I'm seeing is, well, one is a very sporadic rises just here and there, and they also appear to be smaller fish. Kind of what we call dinks. I think they're probably those 4 to 6 inchers. Not really what I want to target. But I'm always glad to see them in this creek because they're our next year's fish. Yeah, there's a little rise right there, but yeah, I'm seeing. All right, I worked this water pretty, moderately thorough, but not terribly thorough, but enough to watch what's going on. I'm seeing an odd sulfur, very typical for this time of the day. We are midday. So I've been seeing an odd sulfur coming up. Sometimes this creek gets a great middle of the afternoon hatch, which is what I'm kind of hoping to see. But anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to go subsurface. We're going to grab the other rod. I'm going to go over that. I'm going to nymph it because what I'm seeing is just an odd rise here, an odd rise there, maybe 1 or 2 come up. Then there's just no steady feeding courses, no steady bugs. So it's kind of hard to get on a fish and get them interested in coming up to get it. So I'm going to change gears. Plus, what I'm also noticing, a lot of them are about, yeah, they're dinks, young in the year, and I would prefer to catch a larger fish. So we always like to catch a larger fish. So I'm going to change gears, set the dry fly rod aside for a minute, and grab the nymph rod. All right, right back to a nymphing setup. I just grabbed my other 9-foot 3 weight, set up with a 6X tippet. I'm going to run 2 flies. In this piece of water, my bottom fly is going to be a size 16. I'll show some close-ups of them. It's a green, Kelly green pheasant tail. It's one of those nymphs that when it works really good. And it's then what I have above that, where I got a little bit more control, I have my sulfur nymph that I call a yellowback. This nymph here, on the end of the video, I'm going to tie it. So anybody that likes to tie and wants to see the fly tied, at the end I'll edit on a fly tying video, a little clip with me tying the fly really quick. It's a very easy fly to tie. So plus I got an indicator. This time I'm going to use a nice bright colored one so you can see it easier, and I'm going to use that as depth control and course control. Not much different than I did with my scud fishing video. If you haven't seen that, that's a couple videos ago, so go check that out. But I'm going to start covering this water, and I'm going to see, I'm also going to fish this fly a little bit on the swing and let it swing off the bottom, because sometimes I'll take those nymphs, these sulfur nymphs, as they swim up. These fish will swim to the surface, then break through their exoskeleton and emerge. That's why this little yellow back on this nymph simulates the body starting to pop out. Their wings don't come up first, their bodies actually come out. And when we've seen in the bugs, we've quite often found nymphs with their wing cases broken open and their body starting to protrude as they're starting to hatch. So I think that's why this what I call the yellowback, this yellowback sulfur nymph, works so well. Now let's see if I can get a fish on this. Oh. Little guy, kind of like the size I've been seeing coming up chasing the dry flies. But anyways, he took the little green pheasant tail, took it as I was picking it up. Awesome. Hopefully it's a clue. I'm hoping there's some bigger fish in here. Let's see what we can do. Somebody did something weird to this fish in his Cheerios, because he ain't happy with me. I got my short handle net. A little easy to carry. Come here, buddy. There we go, nicer fish. Alright, let's get a quick look at this boy. Send him on his way. Really nice trout. Boy, I love the colors. Good luck to you, buddy. Be careful. There we go. On his way. Alright, little nymph fishing tip. Somewhere along the line, my top fly, my sulfur nymph, my little yellowback, broke off. And I still have the green pheasant tail that seems to be doing all the work on, but I could continue to fish just the one nymph solo, and considering the action, it's probably a good idea, but I always like to have the second nymph on. So instead of having to retie, tie in the tag and all that, what I did is I tied the fly on, a little bit of tippet, and I can't see it because it's 6X tippet, put a perfection loop. And what I'll do is go above the knot, tippet knot here, and I'll just lasso or loop on the second fly. There's a lot of other ways to it. This seems to work good for me. Make sure you pull that down tight and get it locked in there, because sometimes that loop will come a little loose, slide down, and be down by your main fly, and that'll keep the two together, keep them separated, and it's just a quick, easy fix. And yeah, in here it's plenty strong enough. So let's go back and see what we can do. Oops, that was just swinging in the water column. That's bad. That's bad. Folks, don't try this at home. I am a professional. I can really make a mess. Well, time out for the moment while we fix it. Well, crisis converted, all untangled, ready to go. Let's try it again. Ooh. Man, they're taking that soft and settled. Wow. I've been noticing a few of my bites have been coming out of a little bit of faster tongue of water here. So what I've been doing is doing a quartering upstream cast, and then I just kind of strip the line in to keep and move the rod tip to keep pace with the drift. So it's allowing me to get a really nice dead drift. Then when it gets down below me, I'll just follow the rod tip and see if I can get a little bit more of a swing. No, pick it up and just fire it right back up there again. So I'm just kind of combing that fast water, and of course when it comes down I want to keep the line under control because I'll end up with a lot of slack. That's why I strip in, and also use the rod tip to maintain the bow on the line and to get as clean as a drift coming down through that tongue of water. Now let's see if we can pick something up. Usually I'll just kind of systematically comb it. Try different lines, and I just keep everything under control because I am having a bad enough case of the dropsies today. Oh, nope, that was just bottom. When you get the dropsies, you start getting real twitchy like I am. And dropsies build onto itself. Down the center of the channel. Ooh! Yeah, I dropped another one. I think this is going to video of not landing fish, a video of dropping fish. My goodness. They're all coming on that little green pheasant tail too, and that's a good hook. I don't know why I keep missing them. There we go. Ooh, man, I am dropping fish. The little pheasant tail's working, but I got a bad case of the dropsies going. In fact, I ought to check and see if I still got a fly. Yeah, still got a fly. Ooh, I should have hit it harder. They're just sipping these things. That was a big fish. Well, folks, I think I'm going to shut it down. The bug activity is wound down and the fish are starting to ignore me. So I think he's pretty much over. It was a quick little flurry of activity. Unfortunately, I dropped a lot of fish, so I didn't have a lot of fish to show off. But you can see the nymphing technique that I was using during the sulfur hatch, how I fished the 2 different flies. I hope you found some useful tips in this. As always, in the comment section, if there's a fishing tip you want to see, put it down in that comment section. Always hit the like button, it helps. And go ahead and share these videos a lot. My trout fishing videos just don't get the traction like my steelhead videos. So if you could help us out by sharing it, that'll be great. Of course, the likes and the comments always really help. And also, I enjoy your feedback and I like your suggestions. We do take them to heart and we do listen to them. So once again, hit the like button. We could use your help. Leave us a suggestion in the comments what you'd like to see. We could use your help. But anyways, I'm going to wind it down. Once again, I mentioned earlier that I was going to tie the sulfur yellowback nymph. This thing probably ain't going to show up on the camera too good. This little guy. And a little time video right on the end of this video. But I might also add that little green pheasant tail that I tie right on the end. It's a very simple pheasant tail pattern, but I'll just show that really quick too. So you got in the end of this, for you fly tiers, on the end of this I got a fly tying video coming up. So I hope you enjoy everything with the videos, also with the fly tying. Leave a comment on that too. See you in the water, folks.
Is it on?
Yep, we're good. As I said in the video earlier in the video, I'd show you the flies we're using. This right here, I don't know how I can see it color-wise in the video, but this is the pheasant tail artificiate. This little, it's a size 16, and it's tied on a Daiichi 1150 size 16. And once again, as I said, it's a green. And what I mean by green, it's, yeah, you can see the color. It's a Kelly green pheasant tail materials. You don't usually find this color, but this is the color that I use. I get tying this fly. Alright, I have absolutely no idea what possessed me to try it or tie it or even pick this color pheasant tail off the shelf, but I tied it and tried it, and my God, is don't argue with the fish, feed them what they want. Now what I do is I'm using about 4 little pheasant tail fibers. Since I'm tying on a 16 is a 4 here, and these are nice and long. That way I can get the entire fly out of it. Now I come up, figure out the length of the tail, and here we go. Just kind of wind down on the tail. Generally speaking, your tails on these things are about half the length of the hook shank, but it never comes out. My tails are always a little too long on this thing. And you can see I just kind of folded that pheasant tail back. A little bit of fine copper wire, even though this copper wire is not as fine as I like it. It's what I have on hand, so that's what I'm using. Kind of tie that along the bottom, get that out of the way. Come back, grab that pheasant tail, and I'll just butt wrap it up. Kind of use my fingers to control everything. Go a little bit past the halfway mark, tie it in, come back, get the wire out of the way from the tail, and run the copper wire up. Gives it a segment look and reinforces the body. A couple of turns with the thread. Let's get rid of the wire. Take the rest of the material that's there, fold it back, and laws of physics of tying nymphs. See if we can see it on the camera. I always go about halfway down the body. They say 2/3, 1/3. No, go 50-50. And don't forget that you got to do your measurement behind the bead. So I got to go back a little bit. That looks okay. Come back. Now for the thorax part, or abdomen part, whatever they call it. I grab a couple strands of peacock curl. I like 2 just because I'm a little impatient and I want my fly to fill up quick. There. Kind of make adjustment in there. The jaws on this Dyna King are worn out. After tens of thousands of flies to it, the thing is getting worn. I need to do a rebuild on it. There, crawled up against the bead. Couple of turns, hold it in place, clean it up. Take what's that, fold it over. There's my wing case. Couple of turns. Then split the fibers. Let's see here. 2 go one way, one side. The other 2 on the other side. Get in here. Whip finish it. Fill it up behind the bead. Couple more turns. Kind of square the bead up. If it's not too tight, don't worry about it. Whoops, like I said, this old vise is worn out. Get it back in there. There we go. Come back, cut the legs behind the wing case, get rid of the thread. There we are. There's that pheasant tail, green pheasant tail nymph that was taking all the fish in the, or the fish were eating it. I wasn't catching them. I was dropping them. This is a fly that I had a case of the dropsies with. Squeaky chair. Alright, here's the fly that I originally promised to tie in the video there. This is that sulfur nymph pattern that I call the yellowback. And basically it's the yellow wing case on it. That's to represent the body that actually coming out of the nymph. The nymph's about ready to emerge or hatch. And what you'll see is the nymph case crack and the body coming out. It's not unusual to find these things when we're doing a lot of seinings and looking at the bugs. Yeah, I would see this, basically the wing case turning yellow. That was just basically this nymph is ready to emerge. And that's what this is representing. We've had really good success with this fly. In fact, this fly will take its majority of our nymphing fish during the sulfur hatch before it's done. Just because the last outing they were more interested in the green pheasant tail, but this fly will most certainly get its pound of finny critters. Let's get it tied up. Alright, the hook I'm using is a Daiichi 1760 size 16. It's a nymph hook. And let's get rolling. Let's get this fly tied because we got fish to catch. Get that under. Some of the tail material I'm using. This just happens to be some soft hackle, some dyed olive hen saddle that I had laying around. Get a little bit of that, kind of bunch it up. About a half a hook shank for the tail. Nymphs have short tails. Now let's get a little bit of a tail material in there. There we go. Tie it on. Now I have started putting some copper wire and ribbing this. It just gives this fly a nice little segmented look to it. And that little extra copper flash helps. Now the dubbing I'm using is a kind of a real dark, almost a black olive mix of my own. Kind of mix it up with some olive and some black rabbit, and kind of created my own little blend. It's a real dark olive. And when I tie this, what I'm going to do is kind of, whoops, work around the hook here, get that under control here. I do tie a fairly thin body. These sulfur nymphs are kind of a thin bug. Let me get a little bit more dubbing on there. I'm a little short on this. That looks just a touch. There we go. I'm not being overly neat. That's on purpose. Come up, we'll rib that. Try to get 6 or 7 turns in, or whatever. There we go. And there we are. Now you might notice I went way past the 2/3 mark. Now I'm going to wind back onto the body with a thread, little nymph tying tip. Go right back onto the body when you put your wing case in. Now when I tie my nymphs, everybody says 1/3, 2/3 is your proportions. No, try to go 50-50. Then they magically come out 1/3, 2/3. The wing case right here is actually some yellow floss, Unifloss, silk, whatever you have on hand, just yellow. And you can see them about 50-50 on down the wing case or the body. And I'll come back, grab some more of the dubbing, and the front of it's already getting fat, so I just a thin little load onto the fly there. All I want to do is just cover up that yellow. There we go. That looks about right. There. Now what I'll do is come back, and here's some more of that olive hen patch, soft tackle, hen neck or saddle, whatever it is. But I can see I got a little Y right there, and I'll just kind of fold it up along the sides, a couple of loose turns. It's a little bit coming over the top, a couple of turns. Now the legs are a little bit long. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It's a little bit long, so what I'm going to do is just very gently just pull it forward. Now I got my proportions right. And I get the floss knot out of the way. Come up, cut everything off, tie it off, whip finish in a little bit of a head. Don't worry, nymphs got fat heads. And tie it down, and we have our sulfur nymph. It's a pretty simple tie, but hey, they don't have to be fancy to be effective. A couple of things is don't make it any chunkier than what you're seeing right here. They are skinny bugs, so don't get overly dressed. Some little legs and wings on it. The ribbing from the copper wire, the yellow back, and we're good to go. Well, folks, I hope you enjoy the couple flies I tied in the end of the video. You find it useful. My fly time videos are not always get a lot of traction, so if you enjoyed this fly time portion, please say so down in the comments. I'll do more on the, if you like the idea that's on the end of the video, say so. If you'd like a standing alone time video, say so in the comments. I'm really asking how you like to do it, because I want to grow the channel. And also help us grow the channel. Please share this with your trout fishing buddies, and hit a like on there and subscribe. The descriptions help drive the channel, so hit the little subscribe. There's also a bell icon. Hit that too. That'll help out, let you know when we have another video up, so you can catch that when it comes in by hitting the bell icon. But anyways, I hope this fly works for you. We got a lot of sulfur fishing ahead of us. See you in the water, folks. This is Jay at JPEG Guides and Lost River Fishing. We are a year-round fly fishing catch and release guide service. We fish the Lake Ontario tributaries, and then during the spring and the summer we also fish the inland trout streams, classic dry fly fishing. During the heat of the summer we will do the warm water fishing for bass and pike. If you're interested in any of our outings or have any questions, please feel free to email us at fish@lostriversfishing.com. Hope to hear from you, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.